Smartphones, where would we be without them? They're so handy and they're a part of our ingrained in our daily lives that we forgot the roots of where they came from. And they all go back to the Apple Newton and everything kind of spun off of that. But there's an in-between filler that was between the Apple Newton and the iPhone. And that is a PDA. This is the M100 that I recently found. And it's miraculous where we've come from this to this iPhone, Android, Palm Pilot. Now, when we factor in all of these, Palm Pilot used to only have 2 megabytes of memory in most of the middle range models, but this is the low range model, the M100. This one I got in 2001, and it's very basic, but the apps are very small compared to how all the other apps run. See, you got an 32 gigabyte memory here, you have 64 gigabyte memory here, and this one's only oh, well, I guess the bottom's broken on this one. That's okay. It's an old model, it was mine. So, we're gonna see if this still functions. And I have not used it since 2005. And turn on, turn on, turn on. Let's see if I can get that to work. Oh, there it is. Oh, it actually works. Look at that. And over here, this is where a stylus used to be. And anytime you had to start it up brand new, you had to calibrate. Look at this. January 3rd, 2000. We just skip all of that. Basic skills. You have your launcher, basically your home button is what they would call it, which is all the same down here. You have the little icons here. You can do the keyboard, number keyboard, contrast. There's your calculator and find button. This is your up and down button. Datebook, address, to do, and notepad. So in other words, if you turn it off like this, just push a button and it shows it and turns it back on. Okay, so it's complaining because we're not done our tutorial. If you finish the basic skills, graffiti, this is where Apple got into a little fight with Palm, and so they had to change the name from graffiti to graffiti 2. So, we'll go. This is our writing area. This tells you how to write it. Basically, this was making fun of Apple right here because of how inaccurate their thing was, but we can try it. A, B, C, D, E, 1, 2. Hey, look at that. I can do all this. Oh, that's close. No. I'm doing a 4, but it's giving an 8, but it's still not bad. Do not write on a slant, write large characters. Okay, we're just done with that. And look, these are all your basic apps. Now you can do this, new to-do list, welcome to Notepad. Tells you just right on the screen to make a quick note. and hit done. There's no way to save it without screwing it up, so you only got one chance to do it, or else you do it like this. You can delete the current note and scribble on it. Hey, it's 7:26 in the morning. And then there's your address book for accessories. Look at this. Palm.com. Then you have technical support. And you can go through all your different things here. Here's your menu. You can duplicate the address. Hit done, and there's a copy. Then you can choose to categorize it. You can create a new one. And I forgot how to write a T. Oh, there it is. Okay. I just... and that's it. So if we go to there, there's nothing there. Business, all. Come on, all. Hit accessories. And edit. Details. You can select your category and put it in there. You can also make it in your main list. You can edit. You can also make it private. So if you need a password. So if we go here, we can see there's security, password. You can make your password. Lock and turn off. And then if we go preferences, auto off after 2 minutes, system sound low, alarm, game sound low, beam receive on. No phone has beam receive unless it's this LG G3 that's over here, and that's that little infrared there. iPhone don't have it, and almost any other Android don't have it. But beam receive means if you and your buddy have one, you can send messages to each other. It's like the earliest full form text messaging. Now, if we go back home, then we're gonna hit, there's all your different categories. There's your welcome. Hot sync would be when you sync it to your computer. And believe it or not, this thing has a serial connector. And that's it. That plugs right in here, and then you just push a button, then you hot sync it. So now it's trying to connect, but I don't have anything here. I don't even have a computer old enough to connect to it. You can kind of use it without using a stylus, but it's a bit more difficult, but it's just slightly good. Now if we click on here, we can hit info. Look how tiny all of these applications are. Your system is only 14 kilobytes. Notepad's only 3. Address is only 2 kilobytes. Now let's go back to the address book. We're going to either you duplicate, you can beam it, or you can even beam a business card. Okay, now we're gonna edit details. We can hit delete. No, we don't want to save it on the PC. Okay, now your address book is empty. We go back home, we go to info. Look at that, your address book is only 1 kilobyte. It tells you how many records are here and what version everything is. If I remember, this used to come with 3.5, but I updated it to 3.51 when it came out, and that's when the Palm Pilot website was up. Update 3.51. Yep, that's it right there. So everything else was more or less 3.5. They didn't change, but the ones that are 3.51 are the ones that I had done. But look at this. Your size. Your address book is only 1 kilobyte. What's the address book size in this Android over here? I'm going to go settings. We're going to hit apps. Contacts is 17 megabytes. That's 17,000% more than it needs to be. And the only thing in contacts, there's no data used. It uses 9 megabytes of memory. This only used 2. And if you go back home, come on, go back. Okay, fine. I'm done. I'll go home. Address book. So your address book was your contacts. So what and why is this 17 megabytes versus 1 kilobyte? Even the contacts on my iPhone is 131 kilobytes. And documents and data is only 4 megabytes. So you have in here address book of 1 kilobyte and 100 kilobyte. So fine, maybe there's something in it that they kind of lip sync into each other and go from one app to the other. Fine. There is no excuse that the contacts need to be 17 megabytes. And look, there is nothing using it. You can clear the cache, you can clear the data, and it's still 17 megabytes. How is that? Try Notepad. Notepad's only 3 kilobytes. Here we're going to try MemoPad. Quick memo. Look at this. 27 megabytes. Why? In the iPhone, Notes is 13 megabytes, which is still half of the Android one. But it's still way too much compared to kilobytes. Just because you can make something with more memory and more storage doesn't mean you try to use it and put unnecessary things in it. Now, that might be the whole being able to copy from one app to the other, or put this into this, or go from here to there. But at the same time, it's not necessary to make it so many megabytes. You want to know what else I got? I got the Tungsten E2. This one has a built-in rechargeable battery. This comes with Graffiti 2 software, which is more or less the same as Graffiti. And this one, when I bought in 2005, it has a memory card slot. And look, a headphone jack. That's a luxury. And more or less, the output is the same. I had to cut a hole in this for the headphone jack and here for the charger, just so I can use it. And then we're going to pull out our Palm TX. Again, same Graffiti, 2008. premium headphone jack, memory card for secure digital. That's your charging port and data port. There was a cable that had this piece in it, and then this piece also has the charging and data, but I don't remember what that one piece is. So, same layout, but now this one doesn't have this bottom piece in it to make it, if you turn it, it's widescreen, but it don't do that. And this can only support 2 gigabyte cards because it came out just before they came out with the 4 gigabyte secure digital. And then Palm went into the smartphone market with the Palm Pixie and Palm Pre. Did not like their application system, and then they basically went bankrupt from all the different lawsuits. That's why it's Palm, Palm 1, then bought the Palm. Now we're gonna try and see if we can charge it and get these bad boys working. Yep, that's the hot sync button. Oh, that fits like a glove. Okay, now, considering I haven't used these in a good number of years, let's hope they don't start a fire. With these ones, they have rechargeable batteries that are built in, but this one, gimme. You take these things out, you have 1 minute to change the batteries, or you lose everything on it. So if your battery was low and you've been doing nothing but typing all day, and if you're not typing with the screen keyboard, you're typing with the Palm Portable Keyboard. This was a luxury item. This one fits right in there. And then you just start typing. But you had to make sure you install the file on the Palm, or else the keyboard don't work, which sucks. And it was the same when you had these keyboards. But these ones, they have batteries in them. This one did not have batteries. And the reason why these ones need batteries... goofball. Oh, right. Yeah, you can tell last time I used it. And this is where this would sit. And your infrared is in there. So you can either type like this, or like that, or like this. But that's your Palm keyboard. Nope. That's why. So slide out, pop open. Okay, now I get it. Okay, so it's been a week and I got this one working. I got this one finally working. This one I still can't get working. And no, it's not because it's not plugged in. I had this plugged in after this got charged up. And if we check the calendar, we can see there's a 5-day discrepancy from when I first showed this to this one. And this one I left in all 12 days and nothing. I had this cable, then I found a second cable, which I have here, and then I found my old zip link, which, being as old as it is, it has all the ports on it. To charge it and plug it in does not work. And then I found this one, which has just the power piece, but I do not have the plug for it. So, and I don't know where the other part is for this. I'd have to find it in one of my million buckets of electrical wiring. So that'll be somewhat for another day. Now, if we go here and we check info, now we go here and we're going to check info here. I gotta put that thing back on. So, on the device, you can see address is 17 kilobytes, and here it's only 1. Bluetooth supposedly works. I don't have proper Bluetooth headphones to test that theory yet. This came with media, notepad, real player. Real player, you had to use the desktop program to copy it over. Solitaire, I think I added. Battery life, I think I added. The hot sync button works, but I gotta figure out when I'm gonna hook it up to a computer. That'll be a future video. Hey, look at that. The last time it was copied, and look, there's me. Who that? That's me. And then for hot sync, you have PC setup, conduit setup, primary PC subnet mask. Here, none of that. You hit hot sync, and it's basically the same thing. But all you have is add-on, infrared, and here you have all of this. So you can tell the palms were getting better. Now, as for this funky contacts, that's 70 kilobytes here. So they changed address to contacts. You got basically the same thing, except this one you have a picture. So if with this thing, if you can get a picture in it, yeah, so that's it. So the only difference between that and that is a picture, and it's only 17 kilobytes as opposed to Funky Town over here, where you got nothing in it, and it's 17 megabytes. That's still too much. Way too much. Go here. I don't want tethering. Calculator. 3 megabytes. What's calculator in here? Oh, it doesn't show it in here. Calculator version 3.5, but does not show the size. Fine. What does network have here? Network. No, that would, I guess, just be settings. Notepad, so here would be memo. Memo. Quick memo, 27 megabytes, 4 kilobytes. You stay there. Six kilobytes. Look at that. You have 4 6. What the hell is 27? Even Notepad's 28 kilobytes, not megabytes. System's only 193 kilobytes. Settings is 17. So with that system, that's way too bloody much. System 14 kilobytes. 10-fold, 15-fold increase, not too bad, but it's still a lot from 14 kilobytes to 193. Just because you can make it bigger does not mean you have to make it bigger. And I wonder if my old Palm keyboard still works for this. Look at this. Don't. This still works. Oh. Okay. Well, that was my problem. And detect it. Look at that. Even the keyboard had an internet function. That's not supposed to happen. Well, the keyboard does work. I don't know what's wrong with it. But I still gotta find something for this one. And in a future video, we're gonna get these onto an old computer and get it right for its time. This is the end of part 1. See you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And view my other social media accounts. Thank you and have a good night.